A pleasant morning to you and welcome to the Break Dawn newspaper review on 32 FM 94.9. I am Adenike, Ademuwagun. And I've got the front pages this morning of The Punch, The Daily Post and The Vanguard. And starting from The Punch, rate hikes may trigger recession. World Bank warns federal government. You can also find UNGA. Buhari woos investors, says Nigeria requires 348 trillion naira. Dogara Lawal can't intimidate Tinubu on Muslim ticket. Nigeria needs help to tackle debt burden. This is coming from the AFDB. Just by the logo of The Punch, you'll find electricity consumers pay 210 billion naira in 3 months. To the major story, Atiku, PDP, Dare Wike, Makinde begin campaigns Wednesday. And there are writers to that says Lamido, Olafeso, Momodu, other heavyweights back party preach peace. PDP Governors Forum to meet Ayu, Atiku, Okowa, say Tamboa, Wabara. BOT meets Wike today. Rivers Governor vows to remain in PDP, fight for equity. Still on The Punch, ASU appeals ruling, says federal government has declared war. Presidential candidates sign peace pact Thursday. Hoodlums ransack, loot Ogun school, pupils sent home. And 3 more stories on The Punch this morning. Akeredolu fumes as federal government denies Amotekun firearms license. 245 killed in Kaduna community attacks, says Monarch. And finally, military to bombard bandits, asks residents to relocate.
Right from Daily Trust newspaper, Tinubu meets bishops in Abuja, defends Muslim ticket. CBN did not introduce USSD code to block compromised bank accounts. We're not committed to endorsing Tinubu. That's from bishops. How terrorists, financiers were nabbed inside Zaria Bank. Some more from Daily Trust. Zamfara PDP fixes Friday for fresh Giba primary. Abuja prof arrested for beating police orderly who refused to do house chores. Forex scarcity. Banks suspend international transactions on Naira debit cards. Let's see. Mita untold story of Kano's deadly love affair. Something to also read from Daily Trust newspaper. Buhari yet to name new Auditor General 16 days after Agugo retired. I will be governor for all if elected. Senator Basani tells Christians baptizing churchgoers not enough to make them Christians. On ICANN, the group promised to deliver 2 million votes for Atiku. Atiku inaugurates 10-lane road in Akwa Ibom.
And moving to the Vanguard, global threat of COVID-19 far from over. World leaders. Nigeria's health system unfit for future global health emergencies. This is coming from a survey. And still on the Vanguard, 2023 elections, IBB urges NURTW to be law-abiding. And we can also find airports. Nigeria records 993 bash in H122. 2023, ethnic selfish interest, threats to unity. Aboyeji, Geo, Foursquare. Nigeria requires complete constitutional reset. This is coming from Afe Babalola. Invest in inmates rehabilitation, judge tells government. 2023, APC, UK inaugurates campaign council. Dispute, installation of monarchs remain, Ondo government tells Ogun. And you can find banks credit to economy up 2.2% to 61.2 trillion naira. You can also find on the Vanguard this morning, 2023 polls, candidates to sign 2 peace accords, says National Peace Committee. NNPC, US Corporation, Exim Bank, seal gas deal. And 2 more stories and we move to another paper. Debt burden, Nigeria needs help. This is coming from AFDB's Adeshino. And finally, burning of markets. IPOB berates army, fault Uzodimma's explanation.
All right, from Premium Times, Nigerian government berates Atiku, says PDP candidate's economic blueprint power, a power photocopy of its version. Governor Uzodimma speaks on killing of residents, burning of markets by Nigerian troops. Special report: in Nigeria, food hardship worsens due to terrorism and climate change. 2023, Atiku reacts to Wike Camp's withdrawal from campaign. ASU to appeal court order on resumption of NANS as NANS orders kick. Okay, another one here. A Swiss-based AOG funded joint account with Nigerian politicians. It's an investigation there. You may want to check that out. 6 die in Benue boat mishap. 26 rescued. Police and reps reject proposal to stop proliferation of tertiary institutions in Nigeria.
Moving to the Daily Post, NCC reveals new ways attackers exploit Zoom, offers advice. That's something to read. ICPC identifies greatest obstacle to Nigeria's anti-corruption fight. Civil servants perpetrating biggest cases of corruption. This is coming from the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC. Oil traders demand dissolution of advisory council to avert crisis. Commercial tricycle bus drivers ground movement in Oka protest high tax. Atiku decries high rate of man-made vices in Nigeria. EFCC arrests internet fraudsters in Lagos. Imo Army rescues baby, hands over suspected child traffickers to NAPTIP. Committee of Vice Chancellors elects Uniben VC Professor Lilian Salami as chairman. International Day of Peace, NSCDC records 2,889 civil cases in Jigawa. We can also find PDP crisis. Wike announces decision on defection calls. Still on the Daily Post, PDP crisis. We're working to come up with solution. Tamboa. Kwara PDP alleges plans to state government to arrest members. And a couple more stories and another paper. Lagos Assembly passes bill to protect accident victims, prosecution witnesses. And finally, Governor Tamboa takes over as chairman of Nigeria Governors Forum.
We go on our first commercial break. We'll be back.
Mother's love is unconditional. Nothing serves this love better than a bowl of Indomie. So, show some love with Indomie.
Is this a mistake?
What? What's that? What happened?
See, I just bought 1,000 Naira Glow data, and instead of the usual, I got 3.9 gigabytes.
Guy, I swear, that's how I saw it too. I bought 2,000 Naira data yesterday, and I got a whopping 9.2 gigabytes.
Wow! Glow data is just always bigger.
Yep, and always better. I swear down. Babe, why are you removing your SIM?
I'm leaving this network and getting a Glow SIM immediately. And I'm not giving you my new number. You're on probation. Why didn't you tell me about these new Glow data plans?
Glow new data plans. Always bigger, always better. Babe, sorry now. Yes, get a Glow SIM card today and enjoy bigger, better data on the Glow network. Just dial *777# and choose your plan.
Glow Unlimited.
My guy, this your sneakers shine oh. How you take get the original? Now for Jand for this economy. I beg. Now for Adidas official store on top Jumia buy am. Now so with all the plenty international and local brands them, we get official store for Jumia. To get quality and original products them. Now sure banker. See you go gbadun correct discount on top brand festival from 12th of September go reach the 2nd of October. Plus you fit make secure payment online. Enjoy free delivery on top order. We pass 1,999 naira and return anything when you buy for free. Terms and conditions deal.
Jumia, your everyday delivered.
Oh yes! People have been winning, and you too can be a millionaire in the Dangote Bag of Goodies Season 3 promo. Yes! Spell Dangote and become a multi-millionaire. Category 1, instant win. Buy bags of Dangote cement. Pick up the scratch card and win an instant prize. Category 2, for the star prize, pick up the scratch card inside the bags to spell DANGOTE, qualifying you to win 1 million naira cash. Category 3, the mega star prize. Pick out the scratch card inside the bags and spell DANGOTE, qualifying you to win 5 million naira cash. When you pick an alphabet with an eagle, look out for letter O that has the Dangote Eagle logo for you to win the mega star prize. Terms and conditions apply.
Tolu, ó rìnrìn àjò ẹ̀. Ilẹ̀ Haúsá dùn. Mo jẹ oúnjẹ kan tó ń pè ní dambu ìṣèkáfá níbẹ̀. Ọ̀rẹ́, adùn àti ìtasọ́sán ẹ̀ lárinrin.
Oúnjẹ ti délẹ̀ o.
Láìdé, oúnjẹ yẹn náà ló ṣe. Ó tún dùn jù yẹn lọ. Báwo ló ṣe sè é? Ìsebẹ̀ ọ̀ngà. Òun ní ìsebẹ̀ tó nílò fádùn àti ìtasọ́sán tó lélẹ̀. Dùn àwọn tó fẹ́ràn nínú pẹ̀lú oúnjẹ aládùn nínú ilé rẹ̀.
Onga, Mama's helping hand.
Country people, education be the foundation for better future. Now, why Dominion Aviation College they give you the opportunity to sabi many things we follow for inside the education. Share na air ticketing and reservation / GDS training, abi tourism transport and travel management, software development and application development courses. Now, Dominion Aviation College make you the rush go. Within 6 months, you self don't turn sabi person be that. Admission requirement no hard at all. Just make sure say you get a waiting result. WAEC, GCE, NECO, ND, SCE, HND or BSc. So you go fit register, learn air ticketing and reservation / GDS training, tourism transport and travel management and many other things. Waiting you can't wait for again. Sharply go visit Dominion Aviation College. We see don't put a number B37 Oyinlola Street off Bolumole Ring Road, Challenge Ibadan, or make you tell the wire 0814-730-6896. WhatsApp 0813-148-2943. Website www.dominionaviationcollege.com. Dominion Aviation College. Better choice for better education.
Get up and go, 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 go. With Countdown Choco, go, go, go. Get up and, get up and, get up and, get up and go. No matter what you gotta do, do it. Countdown Choco, where the rich must earn for vitality. Get up and go. Stay strong, save the world, take action. Get up and go.
Cowbell chocolate with Vitarich plus iron.
32 FM 94.9.
Thank God it's a beautiful Friday. 32 FM 94.9. I am Olutayo Ogunade.
I am Adenike Ademuwagun. We've got Professor Jedoko in the studios. Good morning, Prof.
Oh, top of the day as usual.
Good morning to you. Okay, so I want to start with this story and the headline.
No, I won't be a distraction. Don't end up. I was just going to see Prof's look,
Very, very professional and constitutional.
I've been advised to keep it a permanent feature.
Great.
All right, so I'm starting with this headline from The Punch that says civil servants perpetrating biggest cases of corruption. This is coming from the ICPC. They have blamed the civil servants for endemic corruption in the nation. They stated that we think it's the political office holders that are the ones most liable, but the civil servants are perpetrating padding budgets, allegedly padding budgets and etc.
Well, I think that's not the complete picture. I think the complete picture is that they are also an impediment, you understand, to the fight against corruption. And the problem is that a lot of these civil servants have been there for years. They've learned all the tricks of the trade. And there are some politicians that come in innocently. And it's some of these civil servants, not all civil servants, we need to be very careful with the generalization. But some of the civil servants are the ones with their insidious activities, encouraging the politicians. And you know why the politicians are always in the news? Because they are the ones that we elect, those are the ones that we know. And those are the ones that are appointed. Whereas the civil servants, we hardly know them. Maybe the permanent secretary, but the rest we do not know. But it's not enough for ICPC to come and tell us that this is the case. The question we must ask and the question we must inquire is what precisely and what exactly is the ICPC doing about it? In other words, we want some prosecutions, we want cases to be proven, and we want refunds to be made to the National Treasury.
Okay, let's look at this one here for 2023 will not leave PDP, will fight in the party.
Well,
that's Wiki.
That's smart, because I think the best way that you can maintain leverage is by remaining within the system and fighting within the system. If he leaves the PDP, of course, it's going to cause a furore. But if he fights within the PDP, some would argue that at least he still has weight, he will still have courage, and he will still have influence. And that kind of influence might be either a destructive influence or a positive influence. But whatever it is, I think Wike is keeping them guessing. He's going to have a press conference today, Friday.
But why should he be allowed to rock the party's boat? Is he bigger than the party?
Well,
they have a constitution?
I think something happened in the third. This is third or fourth republic. I can't remember which republic it is, but I know that in the second republic, there used to be anti-party activities, and people like Bola Ige, people like SM Afolabi, and so on and so forth. Even though they were stalwarts of Awolowo, were disciplined at some point in time. If you fraternized with other political forces and were in a camaraderie relationship, then you're likely to get a suspension and so on and so forth. But nowadays, how many people have been expelled for anti-party activities? So I think the era when people are expelled for anti-party activities or sanctioned is no longer in vogue. So yes, they might be going against the constitution, but the point is that who is going to belt the cart? Who is going to take the action? And I think the people concerned are so much concerned about electoral success that they don't want to do anything at this stage to jeopardize it. Is he bigger than the party? Of course he's not bigger than the party, but he can damage the party.
Do you see some merit in Wike's grouse or argument here? He says the North has taken the presidential candidate, and they've taken the chairmanship position and director general of the campaign.
Well, some would say that it's sour grapes. After all, Wike and co, some would have argued should have stood their grounds and said that zoning should be to the south, east, or south or whatever it is, and they never stood their ground. They went into this election and they lost. And Wike had said that whether he wins or loses, you understand, he will remain loyal. But I think the turning point for Wike was when the national chairman Ayu met with Tambawa and said, "You saved the day." So he then saw an active collaboration against his own interests. And I think since then it's been downhill. And I think the lack of consultation, he would say, in choosing the vice presidential candidate, where Okowa, who he would suggest has little electoral value, he was chosen above him, was also another indication of the fact that he felt he wasn't wanted. Wike, if you look at Wike's antecedent within the PDP, he has been a stalwart there, but he has also been a kingmaker. How many national chairmen has Wike assassinated politically I mean, assassinated? Quite a few, you understand? And maybe somebody's putting a stop to it and say, well, you can't keep on assassinating these guys. Assassination, I mean removing these guys, from office. And Secondus, many others I can't even
they are
remember.
not underestimating his weight here, political weight. I mean Atiku, because if you look at it, do you want to trade off Ayu and retain your position as the PDP candidate and win eventually? I mean, or you want to allow Ayu there,
yes,
okay, and you lose ultimately.
Well, the hallmarks of being a good president sometimes is ruthlessness. You smile with everybody, but when you have to take decisions which are in your own political interest, you take them. Where you might plead with them behind the scene, but you take the action. And I don't think the Turaki, or is it the Waziri, Waziri, has shown a ruthlessness in this case. I think he wants to please both sides. You can't please both sides. I think if I were Turaki, I would have looked at Ayu's position. I would have looked at his position. I am the presidential candidate. You are the national chairman. We are from the north. Most of the members of the NWP are from the north. I would have taken a position which is slightly different. In other words, encourage Ayu, you understand, to resign with the prospects that when I get into office, he will be adequately, you understand, rewarded or compensated as the case might be. But I think he's determined not to take that. And you may ask the question, is that going to cost him the presidency?
Okay. It was also reported yesterday that he held an emergency stakeholders meeting of the state chapter. And also, there was a statement by Chief Olisa that says that some associates of Atiku were piling pressure on him to pull support from candidates aligned to Wike and his loyalists, but he's refusing to do that.
Well,
that's Atiku.
Well, that would be counterproductive. If he pulls support from them, then what's the alternative? Is he going to get their support in the presidential election? I think we just have to understand that this election is going to be very intelligently fought. What do I mean? You might see candidates being supported, you understand, for gubernatorial or governorship. And when it comes to the presidency, they go, people move to another party. Remember which election where the ANC won in
South Africa?
No, sorry, not ACN. the ACN,
Okay.
where when the ACN contested, it was with Ribadu or so, where there were certain governorships, you understand, where they led, and certain in the presidency they lost. There was some sort of that. So people didn't necessarily. Was it in Lagos State? In Lagos State, I don't know whether they won or lost. I can't remember. But I think that they lost in Lagos State, and whereas Fashola romped home to win the governorship, and yet in the presidency they lost. So and in Ekiti there was some permutation. So it's really possible that people will support the presidency of another political party, and when it comes to the governorship, they stay true to their roots from that point of view. So it's going to be quite some sophistication in this election, I think, anyway.
All right. Nigeria's economic outlook not bleak. Federal government replies Atiku, and we have a report here from the AFDB. AFDB raises concern over Nigeria's debt burden.
I think every body that matters, every economic body or financial body that matters, apart from the federal government, feels that we're in serious trouble, financial trouble, and that an economic inferno is upon us. But it's only the federal government that seems to be taking it coolly and saying that there's no problem at all. If there wasn't any difficulty that we were facing, why would Muhammadu Buhari go to the General Assembly of the United Nations and be asking for debt cancellation and so on and so forth? So they're contradicting themselves. It's quite clear that we have a public debt crisis. It's quite clear we have an inflation crisis. It is quite clear that we have an employment crisis. It is quite clear that we have an economic crisis. So if anybody is saying that, then we have much more problems than we think. Part of solution of a problem is acknowledging it so that you can deal with it and provide solutions. So I don't know why the federal government is running away from it. Is it political? Some will say it's all politics.
How do you gauge the president's plea, for debt cancellation here? You go to a creditor, all right? You take some money from them, you fleece this same money, all right, off on, things that are not considered necessary, as it were. You even dash, and yet to go to the same person and say, cancel my debt, please. I can't pay back.
No, I can't come to you, Mr. Tayo, you understand? Plead with you behind the scenes for a loan, you understand? And the next moment, you understand, I'm driving a Porsche, a Lamborghini Countach, or the latest Formatic, or is it the latest Range Rover in town? And driving around, living the life of a rally. It doesn't make any sense. We haven't cut our expenditure. We haven't cut our coat according to our cloth, or some would say size. And so I don't think it makes sense. Remember that not during Obasanjo's time, was it 2007 or 2006? 2007, there was a general debt cancellation,
right,
which almost reduced our debt to zero.
Is it the same situation now?
No, I think the circumstances are different. I think then in that time, I think the economy was better run, was well run. We knew where we were going. Today, it's not been well run at all. There's no doubt, you understand, that the setting up of ICPC, the setting up of EFCC then by Obasanjo, and so many other steps convinced them, that now was the time to cancel our debts and to give us a chance. Buhari has shown no indication to prioritize the way we spend or for any objective economic policy that will lead us into better climes. In fact, our central bank and the finance ministry work at cross purposes. Our monetary policies are at cross purposes with our fiscal policies.
All right, so another, top to bottom scenario here, you may say, from Daily Trust newspaper. The police have arrested an Abuja-based lawyer and human rights activist, Professor Zainab Duke Abiola, for allegedly assaulting her female police orderly, Inspector Teju Moses.
Yes, I saw that, and I saw the gory pictures.
For refusing to do house chores.
Yes, I saw the gory picture. She was she was injured on the face and was quite blood on the floor. First and foremost, I blame the police. I mean, why should the inspector, why should you be doing handbagging duties? Or why should she be guarding the professor? So the police put her in a position in which she would be assaulted. There's some people who have argued on the Twitter and internet that doesn't she have skills, you understand, self-defense and all that kind of thing. Why shouldn't she train? I think that's not the issue. The issue is that that's not where she should be. She should be in other places, ensuring that the fight against crime, the fight against Boko Haram and terrorists and so on and so forth. And I think the Inspector General of Police needs to review all these celebrities and all these, what do you call them, important people, VIPs as it were, being guarded and being handbag duties. If people want that, then let them license adequate. Let them license security apparatus or security agencies who can do all that. You understand, and be accountable for the money that they are paid. But I think it's a disgrace. Well, they've been charged to court. They've not been found guilty. Let's see how it plays out in court. But I think it's good that they're swiftly charged to court. You cannot lay your hands on law enforcement. It is wrong, and because Nigerians, increasingly some, are getting very emboldened. If you have a complaint against them, then there are other ways that you should pursue it.
Okay, 2023 polls candidates to sign 2 peace accords, says National Peace Committee. Now, the campaigns are about to officially launch, and next Thursday, September 29, at the ICC in Abuja, they're going to be committing all political parties, presidential candidates to sign a peace accord.
Yes, I think that's happened before. It happened during the Jonathan Buhari time, and I think it also happened during the Atiku Muhammad Buhari period. I think it's a good thing that it happens. I think we want peace. We want free and fair election, we want transparent election. And I think if candidates are talking to themselves, hopefully they can speak to their supporters, and hopefully the supporters can see their body language and know that no politician is worth dying for or worth killing or maiming themselves for.
All right, let's take a look at this particular one from Vanguard newspaper. CNN's chief international anchor, Christian Amanpour, said yesterday she turned down the first ever interview with Iranian President Raisi on U.S. soil after he demanded she wears a headscarf during the filming.
Well, I think the antecedent here is that in the past, this journalist, Christian Amanpour, has interviewed Iranian politicians and officials on American soil without having to wear any covering of her head. And so this, for her, was unprecedented. Also, it's also on United States soil. And therefore, the obligation to cover her hair wasn't there. When Amanpour, who is Iranian by origin, but British by citizenship, when she goes to Iran, or when she goes near there, she would cover her hair to interview the president or officials, but not in the United States. So I think either the Iranian president just wasn't interested in the interview, but it's very sensitive. Remember that there's some kind of protest going on in Iran, where a woman who they said did not wear the covering or hijab very, very well, was brutalized and eventually went into coma and died. And a lot of people have been discarding their covering in parts of Iran. And I think it's a very sensitive time for the Iranian government. They don't want to be seen to be condoning or sanctioning through an interview. To them, it's about visage. It's about, the public image and so on and so forth. Optics, as some would describe it as.
NNPC U.S. Corporation, Exim Bank seal gas deal, and Mele Kyari disclosed this at the International Economic Partnership held in New York yesterday. He says that inclusion in energy transition means that we need to be supported. And how is this a step in the right direction?
Well, the energy transmission is that Nigeria still continues to flare a lot of gas. We have one of the largest gas reserves in the world, and yet we flare them when Europe needs gas. When Europe is suffering, more or less, you understand, the prices are astronomical, but we don't have the finance, we don't have the money, you understand, to make this transition. In other words, to make sure that most of this gas, you understand, is captured and is transported. And I think, yes, that kind of arrangement and partnership will help us make the transition better. Nigeria can make oodles and oodles of money, you understand, from gas, because Europe needs it. Russia is not a reliable supplier anymore. The war in Ukraine has caused, supplies to be diminished, and that's where Nigeria and some other countries possibly can step in, and they need the finance to be able to do that smoothly.
Okay, this story says Aisha Buhari slammed for celebrating daughter-in-law's graduation from UK varsity amid ASU strike.
Well, I think discretion is an act of valor, and I don't think they were very discreet in this sense. First and foremost, they're hardly going to withdraw the daughter because the strike occurred, you understand, after the daughter had gained admission. But I don't even think that's the point. The point is that many of our politicians, many of people in government do not care so much about ASU strike. because they are relatives and because they are friends and because people that matter to them are schooling abroad, and therefore it doesn't really affect them. And some people have argued, particularly the ASU president or ASU chairman, that if their children were in Nigerian universities, this problem would have been solved pronto, from that point of view. So I think Muhammadu Buhari's wife was quite insensitive, and there are ways in which it could have been done to celebrate the success of the daughter-in-law. But we still offer our congratulations to the daughter-in-law.
We're going another break now. When we return, we'll continue with the conversation.
Big mommy, add that bokoto we go senior school. Put 2 roundabout. Anoint the package with that slim thick shaki and
Uncle, no vex o. Which teeth you wan use eat all this orishi? That your teeth will be like where motor jam truck. E no dey worry you again.
That one na before. All thanks to the new Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection.
That's right. The new Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection toothpaste gives you complete oral protection with fluoride and antibacterial zinc to keep your teeth strong, prevent tooth holes, and fight bacteria.
Me sef dey go buy my own new Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection toothpaste.
Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection for your important oral care needs. Available in a blue gel.
Every kid is amazing at something. Give them amazing day. Amazing day instant cereal. Give them amazing day. Same calcium as a glass of milk. For healthy bones and teeth. Excellent source of protein. For daily growth and strength. Calcium, protein, vitamin A, dietary fiber.
Golden Penny Amazing Day Instant Cereal. Feed them amazing.
Waiting you sabi about the beautiful game. You dey there for the life and style. Fantasy leagues, bass goals, ginger and okpo. Breaking down the stats even to the MVPs. Taking no L's and only for the W's. I beg. Then Showmax Pro get news for you. Football season is back. Live, e-choke. Watch the Premier League, La Liga, Serie A. Anywhere on any screen. Mado. Stream the action from Super Sport. Live on Showmax Pro. Sign up at showmax.com.
No matter what I do, you love me unconditionally. You show up for me every day. No matter when I show you.
A mother's love is unconditional. Nothing serves this love better than a bowl of Indomie. So, show some love with Indomie.
Hello? James, look, I'm on the expressway. My car just broke down. I don't even know what to do.
Sorry, you do not have sufficient credit to continue this call.
Oh, please, no.
Why not?
This is an important call.
Then you should have recharged.
I would, but I'm in a position where I can't.
Why not borrow some credit then?
Borrow credit? How?
With Glow Borrow Me Credit, you can borrow airtime and pay later. It's easy. Just dial *321# and follow the instructions.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Glow is always there for you when it matters most.
Sorry, James. As I was saying, my car just broke down now, and I have no help here.
Talk now, pay later with Glow Borrow Me Credit.
Glow Unlimited.
tí wọ́n bá lo ráyéwá nítorí pé o lówó lọ́wọ́ tí wọ́n bá ń tàn ọ́ pọ̀ ráyéwá nítorí dúkìá tó pọ̀ tó ní ọkàn ò tí ì balẹ̀ pọ̀ ráyéwá àlàáfíà lògùn ọrọ̀ ṣáájú ara rẹ o ìlera sílẹ̀ mí gígùn gbogbo àrùn tí ń ṣe ẹ̀dá láyé náà kọ́ láyé fi ń ṣe ni bí dọ̀tí bá pọ̀ lára tí gbogbo ẹ́ńjìnì tásẹ̀dá dá bá ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ tó kọsẹ́ má fòyà tó bá ṣe bí ẹni rárá tára rẹ ò ṣe déédéé pinnu lóòkàn àyà ara rẹ o Ventolin cleanser ní kò sẹ́mu agbanugbàde fọgẹ̀dẹ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ ara dànù Ventolin jagunlabi panko pè ọ̀rẹ́ ara tọmọdé tàgbà tọkùnrin tóbìnrin ló lè lò ọ̀sọ́kùnrin sóbìnrin dòpépé Ventolin cleanser atẹ́jẹsẹ̀ maradán bíi kóròsìn Ventolin cleanser kìkìdé gbòógì tí ò lọ́tínú la fi ṣe ó ti wà káàkiri ilé ìtajà ògùn jákèjádò ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà a sì ń wá alágbàtà fún Ventolin cleanser pé nọ́mbà kò demand 08034051533 08034051533 iléeṣẹ́ ẹ̀mí one naturalist care ló ṣe Ventolin cleanser òun láyé tún lò.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
FM 94.9. The lines are open. Of course,
0705 5000 and 0809 7949. We're also live on Facebook at 32FM 949 Ibadan. All right, there's a story here from Lagos State. Lagos Assembly passes bill to protect accident victims, prosecution witnesses, and something similar last week Friday from River State as well. Hello.
Hello, good morning to everyone.
Good morning.
The problem rocking the PPP is very concerning the market. What the market are after is we need president that highly intelligent and having managerial skills to manage this country very well. We are less concerned about the party problem rocking the PPP or APC or Labour Party. We need competent people to become the president in 2023. And I'm appealing to the masses to please find their high and go out and cast their vote for the best candidate of their choice. Thank you.
Well, thank you for your call there. Hello, good morning. 009 7000 949 0705 5000 949 and 0906 2000 949. Good morning to you. Hello.
Morning, sir.
Good morning.
Nike, good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning. This is okay. Prof, why will I give somebody a reprieve who spends the money I lent him on frivolities? Because looking at what is happening now, the little or the much they've borrowed, in what ways have they really? What I can pinpoint in this particular government for now is the transportation setting. They have literally wrecked the economy. Prof, you talked about Obasanjo's period. One, the economy was a bit okay. And there are other factors, ICPC, EFCC, and their likes. Probably those were the things they looked at. With all due respect, I begin to wonder, these are presidents. Does he really have an idea of what to do now? Or have we turned into a set of people that will just be praying that, please, let him just go? Probably when he leaves, we will now reorganize ourselves. Are we not in a little dilemma in all these issues?
Okay, there, asking a question. Thank you, okay, for your comment. Prof.
Yes.
We cannot continue like this,
No,
obviously.
no, we can't continue. And what some people are hoping, a wing and a prayer, is that come April or whatever, this government will be gone. But we have 7 months. 7 months, a lot can happen in the life of a country. And I think that it is quite clear that our economic policy has failed. And there's nothing that we are able to do about it. National Assembly is gone to bed.
Hello.
House of Reps.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, morning. What's your name?
Yeah, this is Comrade Felix coming from here.
All right, go on, Felix.
Yeah, in the issue of PDP, in fact, this is the way it should be done. Because if this political party, this leading political party unites, I tell you the Nigerians masses will suffer under them. Look at what is going on in APC now. So in 2016, all Nigerians joined hands together and brought this government in. Look at the way we have been treated now. So in the issue of insecurity, my brother, that is one thing that I wanted to say yesterday, but unfortunately I could not make it. So remember what happened in 2014 in the Chibok. Is it not Shetima, the governor then? What really happened? What is the genesis of the kidnapped children? In fact, Nigeria, what will happen? Good morning.
Oh, well, I think Shetima would have his own story to tell. But it's quite clear that there are some issues and questions that he has to answer. But what I would say is that campaigning has just started. And hopefully some of these candidates will give us answers to some of the antecedents and some of the issues that people are concerned about.
0705 500949 and 0809 7949. We move to Facebook shortly. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, I can't hear you, but if you can hear me, I think Wike wants his own pound of flesh from Atiku because of his failure in the primary elections and the VP ticket. But I think we should not equate the internal crisis in PDP or any party now to any unforeseen failure in governance come 2023. Because I believe it's a good omen to good governance. It's better PDP or any party has the crisis now heard than Ogunade 2015. Did not have any crisis, internal crisis. But on Ogunade's office, there were crises right from the onset in the case of Senate President Saraki and others. So it's good. Thank you very much.
Thank you. 0097000 949 0705 5000 And this is an advice from a psychiatric doctor. He said journalists should pay attention to their mental health as the nature of their profession could predispose them to some kind of mental health conditions.
Well, I don't think there's any profession that is not subject to mental health in terms of weakness from that point of view. But I think because journalists tend to be combative and they tend to go into places where no other person will go to, yes, that advice may be one which we should take seriously.
Good morning.
Good morning, doctor.
Oh, good morning, sir.
Hello, Dave from LLA. The one I'm making reference to was in 2011 when it was only Osun State that decided to vote for their candidate who was this CFCC, Ribadu. Other states decided to vote for Jonathan. And that is the way they bargained for the presidency there. Concerning the person talking, posting the graduation of son-in-law, it's not that they are not insensitive to what is happening. The bottom line is that they are telling us they have solution to their own problem. We should look for solution to our own problem. If we like, we disturb the life of our children. They have alternative. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Lloyd.
Right.
It's
Thank
daughter-in-law, not son-in-law.
Yes, daughter-in-law. Yes. Unfortunately, most Nigerians don't have alternatives. So what do we do?
Facebook or Tumba Ayo Adeniola says, good morning, team. Wike and PDP knows what they are doing. They are using it to divert other political parties' loyalty. About ASU and federal government feud, they want to use it to foil the unity among the lecturers and students. May God interfere in our current situation. Okedran Babatunde says, IU has special agreement with Atiku, which is not known to others. He helps Atiku to win the ticket, so don't expect him to resign. Wike staying in PDP is to work against the interest of the party in the presidential election. Hello.
Hello, I'm John Jacob.
Good morning.
Thank you, Professor.
Oh, good morning.
Dayo, you recall that I told you nothing will separate you from Atiku. Them in Kaduna. I watched the two of them in Kaduna when one of the senators was defecting to PDP on that day. The same time, Mr. Wike was ranting somewhere in Port Harcourt, so I was trying to sacrifice the both of them, and something told me nothing will separate from Atiku. That's my word. But the point is that I don't think Atiku is actually doing the correct thing now. Because if he actually wanted peace, nothing stops him from advising senators, just advising for the interest of peace. If you actually are fighting for the matters of this country, I think you can step down. Not because it is the right thing, because the problem is that most of us are you to step down. Assuming Atiku did not win the presidential election, will you come back as the chairman? He has not resolved that very well. But I know what is happening between them, because it put against the constitution, and that is why this thing is happening to them. How many of those people have come out to say this? If you watch them now, John Njoko is my name.
Thank you, John Njoko. Prof, nothing will separate Atiku.
He obviously knows more about the relationship than I do, but I don't know what joins them together like a glue. What I do know is that Atiku is a politician. He's wanted to be president of this country for years, and I find it quite amateurish to tie his fortunes to that of one man.
Hello.
We can cut this out. He himself, with Autumn, they have a master plan towards the presidential election. If it did not work, that is why Wike is asking you to get the problem that if you is it a software standard that becomes the problem?
We're struggling to hear your view there, but Adenike, you want to take more?
Raji Afiz Abiola on Facebook says, good morning. About the Wike, Atiku and PDP crisis, the issue is becoming complicated every day and has begun to have negative effects on PDP. Honestly, PDP as a party must now look beyond Wike camp if they want to prove any point in 2023 presidential election because it is looking like Wike wants to battle the issue to finish. God bless Nigeria.
God bless Nigeria. We need to leave the studio now. Thank you, Prof, for your time.
Thank you.
I'm Olutayo Ogunade.
And I am Adenike Ademuwagun. Have yourself a fantastic Friday.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the guest analyst and do not necessarily reflect the recommendations or perspectives of 32 FM